So here's the logic of the GoPro camera. In our case is the Hero 4 Black. That's the model number for this particular camera. There are three things that you need to consider. These are the different buttons that will get you through the different menu settings. And the first one, it's called the mode, which is right here. Then we have this one, which normally is the one that you will use to record video. And then a very important one, which is, let me put it right there. There you go. That little wrench is what will let you go into settings. Now, let's go into the specific logic of the GoPro, because while these buttons have a particular label, that doesn't mean that these buttons actually do what those labels say. So the logic is that the first is to turn it on. So what's the first mode? The first mode is on. There it is. So right now the little display is showing you that we are in video mode and that there's nothing recorded on it. And that's because I deleted the contents of the micro SD card, which is what holds the data. The next step that we have to go to is how do we get into the different modes for setups. So in this case, I want to go to the settings of the camera mode. So we go to the mode button because it is a mode that we're going through. So instead of going through, pressing this button or pressing that button, which will be the logical, we first always have to think of ourselves of which mode do I want to get into. In this case, I want to get into the setup mode. So we go ahead and we do so by pressing the button. So here we are in the single mode, in the burst mode, in the setup mode. That's where we want to go. Once we are in the setup mode, we go ahead and we press the little wrench that's on this side, and that gets you inside the setup mode of the camera. In this case, we are right now in the wireless mode. We don't want to be there. We want to be in another mode. So what we do is that we use the mode to navigate to the section that we want to go to. In a separate document, I have attached what the logic of the camera settings menu is, and also how to use these different buttons for whatever purpose you want. But in the meantime, I'm just navigating through, and where I want to go is to the one that is not, it's not exit. Now let me go through it again. It's the one that is called delete, because it's a good example. The delete is, there you go, it's a little trash can. And in order to get into the delete, this is where things get a little complicated. So, one, we go through the mode, we turn it on, then we want to access the different modes of the camera. So we keep pressing mode until we find the setup mode. Once we are in the setup mode, we press the little wrench, which opens the door for us to start navigating the different modes that are within the menu. Now that we are in the delete section, so what is the logic? The logic is that we now press this button right here, which is the one that normally you will use to record. This will open us the door into the sub-menu of the delete. Once we are in the sub-menu of the delete, then we choose what is it that we want to do. Which mode do we want to go into? Meaning, do we want to go to the mode where we just delete a single clip from the memory card? Do we want to delete all the contents of the memory card, or do we just want to go back? Well, in this case, we are just going to go back. So what button do we press now? We are going back. If we press this is what happens. We're just going to keep going in circles. So once we press back, think of this button as your enter or your execute. We go back and we're back into the main delete mode. If we want to get out of this, then all we have to do is keep navigating in mode and press exit. Okay? But how do we do the press exit? If we want to execute a command at the end, we press this button and we are back into the mode that we were in originally.